శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. అందరికీ నమస్కారం. In this video, let us try to understand what is an insight and what is knowing. You see, there is a master and there are disciples. So, the disciples, they listen to the master and they try to learn from the master's teachings, and in the process they go on repeating the teachings of the masters like parrots without actually experiencing the essence of the teachings. So, the disciple has to listen carefully, learn meticulously from the teachings of the master, and should speak only after experiencing of the teaching of the master. Otherwise, what happens is the teachings of the master becomes a knowledge. A knowledge, and the knowledge does not help in any way for the enlightenment of the disciple unless he experiences the essence of the teaching. The master speaks. In fact, God speaks through the master. So the sayings of all the mystics like Buddha, Mahavira and others, they are not mere sayings, they are not mere teachings. They are the declarations after their deep insights. So they have come through them. They cannot contain that overflowing joy of divinity. And that declarations have come, like Jesus said, I have come home. It's a declaration, it's an affirmation. So, whatever is contained in the teachings of the masters is the essence of the divinity. So, there is a parable in the Bible. In the Garden of Eve, Adam and Eve were there. So, there are two special trees. One is tree of knowledge and the other is tree of life. So, man wants to eat the fruit from the tree of knowledge. And he is afraid to eat the fruit from the tree of life. Because if he eats the fruit from the tree of life, he will die. Dying means he will die as an ego and reborn in eternity. And he will have resurrection and he will have a rebirth. Rebirth means again appearing as a child. The child with innocence. So, only if he is reborn, he is eligible to enter in the kingdom of God as a child. That's what the Jesus means. So, if he eats the fruit from the tree of knowledge, no doubt he becomes knowledgeable. But that knowledge feeds his ego. So that will not lead him to the ultimate knowing. It doesn't happen. Knowing doesn't happen unless the ego is dissolved. There is no way of the insight or knowing. So, whatever the sayings of the mystics, they are their declarations flown out of sheer joy and ecstasy. So, the sayings of the masters like Buddha, Mahavira, and all others, they are in fact the truths conveyed by God through them. They are only the instruments of the divinity. So, when an insight happens to any seeker on the path, it will be like this. Suppose sun rises. Kalidas, a famous poet, writes so many poems describing the beauty of the sunrise. He got that special quality and talent to utter those poems in a beautiful manner. But when the similar feelings arises in you after seeing the sunrise, then you get connected to the poetry of Kalidasa. Though you may not be having that quality to express, but from your inner depths of your being, you feel that whatever Kalidasa has expressed are only your feelings. So that's why you get connected to that beauty of description of the sunrise. In the same way, a song or a feeling is there with beautiful melody in the Vedas. And the same feeling of the essence of that song you feel as an insight. Same feeling, whatever expressed by a man, an unknown man, uttered some 5,000 or more years back. The same feeling you strongly feel that they are the expressions of your inner core. How is it possible? It is possible since the same feelings are there for you now, and the same feelings were felt by that sage or saint some years back. Because the divinity is one, the only one. The totality is only one. So, in that totality, the space and time disappear, and you were there, and he was here with you now. So, that is the beauty of an insight. That is the beauty of knowing by yourself. It is not falling in love with any book. It is falling in love with the truths hidden in the scriptures or books. That such truths are waiting to be liberated by the knowing of the realized. When you feel that insight, when a knowing happens in your inner core, you can relish the books. I mean, the truths contained in the books. Such truths get liberated from the books by your knowings, by your insights. Then you can relish and any book of such truths, because only you are seeing your feelings reflected in the content of those scriptures or books. Books does not give you knowing. You can't become a knower by reading a book, but by knowing you can get connected with the truths envisaged by the masters in such scriptures or books. That is the way of knowing the unknown. That is the way of feeling the unknown. That is the only way to feel the grace of the divinity. Not just by reading, but by being. By being and dwelling in the divinity, you realize the divinity. You realize that all merciful Lord. So, thank you.